What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist, and I'm here with
Gershwan.
Where's he at? This way?
Up, down, left, right.
Inside out? And today we're back to answer more questions from you guys in another For the Greater.
This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question for us, comment down below. Put question in front of your question because we get to those questions first. And obviously, we're trying something new. We're trying to switch up make it feel more like a podcast, I guess.
Yeah.
So me and the Sound Alchemist are actually going to be speaking to each other, which is going to be a little weird because normally we just speak to a camera.
Yeah, and even outside of this, like, we never talk to each other face to face. We always have to sit side by side to have conversations with one another.
That is true. Yeah, I don't think we ever, even like when you look at podcasts, I guess they're never just like straight up face to face. So we'll see how it goes. Mm-hmm. I've already said the intro part, right?
We have.
Okay. So let's get into the questions. I did the whole...
We did everything.
Okay, cool.
That's how much this is affecting us.
Yeah, let's get into it.
This one's by Angel Warrior 28. His question is one of bromances. Which loyalist traitor Primarch had the closest bond or relationship, and thus suffered the biggest betrayal when traitor Primarchs turned to chaos?
I think in that situation we should take out Horus and Sanguinius.
Oh, really?
Because that's like a given, right?
Yeah.
It's like Sanguinius and Horus had an amazing bond. Mm-hmm. They fought side by side. They would command each other's legions. And I think Horus was the only Primarch that knew of Sanguinius's...
the red thirst and how he was trying to fix it. He's like, you can't let this be known to the greater Imperium, because then what happened to the 2nd and the 11th might befall his legion. Yeah. So that's trust.
It is.
That is trust.
So besides them...
I think the next biggest one definitely has to be Fulgrim and...
Varys Manus. And it's a tragic one, and I think I really enjoy it just because there is death involved.
Oh, yeah.
Varys Manus gets his head chopped off by good old Fulgrim.
Well, is it even Fulgrim? Because you have the whole demon possessing him, and at the end of the day, it's like, well, is he not?
I would say that it was Fulgrim.
Because wasn't he trapped in that painting?
Not during the...
Not during that?
No, because it was during the Dropsite Massacre, right?
Right.
I don't think he was...
But still, though, to see who you believe was your bestie,
yeah, and
knowing they went traitor, and like you're trying to bring them back, you're trying to do everything, you're fighting alongside with them, and now you're fighting against them. It is heartbreaking. Yeah.
I do think that it even affected both of their legions.
Oh, for sure.
It was more specifically the Iron Hands Legion.
Yeah.
I think they have like a huge grudge against the Emperor's Children's Noise Marines, basically.
I mean, I think anybody would, seeing their Primarch get beheaded.
Yeah.
And then them unable to take his like head too.
Yeah.
That's more of like a disgrace.
Even though what I do think is interesting, because now that we're talking about like their legions, the Blood Angels don't have like any specific like hatred towards Abaddon and the Black Legion.
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, obviously they've got like stratagems and stuff like that do make them do better against chaos, but I don't know if they have one that's specifically Black Legion.
That's true.
Yeah. But still, it would make sense, lore-wise, for them to have like a hatred.
Yep.
But I mean, they can't really do anything against Horus because obviously he's dead.
Yeah.
But the Legion itself,
Even the Legion, though, now that you mentioned that, the Legion itself is also dead. Because it's not
these,
the Luna Wolves. Right. It's the or what were they called after
Luna Wolves and the Sons of Horus, and now they're the Black Legion.
Yeah, so that's completely different. And now I'm trying to think, like, was there any other like friendship that ended up getting betrayed? Because, like, I feel like Perturabo and Rogaldorn always hated each other. Yeah. Like, they were always opposed.
Yeah, I wouldn't call that, like, a...
rivalry.
Well, it was a rivalry. It wasn't like they had a close bond or a relationship. They just had that rivalry.
Yeah. Now, I think that's it.
For the most part, yeah. Everybody else was kind of, like, indifferent or, like, okay with one another.
Yeah.
But definitely the two biggest ones was Magnus, not Magnus, because they also have that rivalry too.
Because, that's true, but that happened afterwards.
Yeah, because they even had the Wolves and the Dark Angels. They have a rivalry too because their Primarchs got all oily and wrestled one another.
Yep.
And then one of them got sucker punched.
Yep. But yeah.
Yeah, definitely the two we talked about, who I can't even remember their names.
Fulgrim and...
Fulgrim and Ferrus Manus.
And then Horus
Sanguinius and Horus. There you go.
This new setup is affecting us, I guess.
It is. It's like we're in the warp, and like reality is the same but different.
Yeah, because like I want to speak to the camera, because like I want to speak to you guys, but then at the same time the Sound Alchemist is right in front of me. So it's like maybe I should just speak to the Sound Alchemist. Right. I guess we could look at the camera.
Because I feel like when we're answering these questions, we're answering your guys.
Yeah.
It's not each other's.
It's not just like us talking about like, you know, our day. This question comes from Patrick Smith. Are there other instances of Gersh series, Gersh 2, Gersh 3, Gersh Alpha series? No, there isn't. Not yet. If I ever have a child, maybe that will be Gersh 2.
What about you, like, before you were birthed?
Primordial Gersh? There was that, yeah. But that was before I played 40K. There was just an empty miniature void in my heart. And then eventually I found it when I found 40K. Because do you remember when we first started, like even before we started playing 40K, we started playing 40K at what age? Like 12, 11, something like that?
It was like middle schoolish / pre-high school.
Yeah. But I remember before that I used to draw like little... like monsters and stuff, and then have little stands for them.
Yeah.
And we tried creating our own game. This is before we even knew like war games existed.
Yeah. Because we were always trying to like have like that rivalry. Like, we were playing like LARPing essentially. We'd get like swords and stuff and like fight on trampolines, and then that translated to the whole drawing of the models and like making them fight. And then that's when we found HeroClix.
Oh, no.
Was HeroClix after 40K?
Yeah. The HeroClix came, like, way after we were in high school.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Or I think we were in college.
Yeah. It was 40K.
Yeah.
And then that regressed to a checkers / 40K style.
Yep.
And then we forgot about 40K for a while, and then we came back to it.
Right, yeah.
And we actually decided to read the rule book.
Yeah.
And we learned that it wasn't... Because when we went to the War Game store... the GW store, we heard people talking about how the atmosphere affected the gameplay. We were like, whoa, that's too much.
Yep.
But yeah.
I remember that, yeah. So yeah, Primordial Gersh was a thing, just like Primordial Sound Alchemist was probably a thing.
Maybe.
Next question.
This one is by Angel Warrior 28 once again. Considering the fact that Sisters of Battle don't have a Primarch, who would be the closest equivalent to the Sisters having a Primarch? That's pretty easy. In the latest installment of their releases, we actually got a High Lord of Terra / like Lord Commander for the Sisters, and that is Morven Val. Okay. She's basically a Primarch without being a Primarch, considering that to the Sisters, I guess. Yeah. She's like near Guilliman level, at least on the tabletop. So yeah, she's badass.
Even though, remember that, like with the Sisters of Battle don't have any type of genetic augmentation. It's all bionics and stuff like that.
And Faith. We can't forget about Faith.
So there will never. It's not like they're all somehow related or somehow share something. Right. The only thing they share is, like you said, their faith.
And apparently that makes somebody near Primarch level.
Of course.
Just like in real life.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. Next question comes from Gary Tapingo. How do you sexy beasts keep so dedicated? Seriously, thank you for the content. Your channel has become a part of my daily routine. That's awesome to hear. And I mean, we struggle through it.
Yeah, just like everything else in life. You just got to wade through it and take it day by day.
So much pain and suffering goes into these videos that you guys don't even know. You know what does suck? Because I think I've always binge watched like certain YouTube channels. And what ends up happening is like I'll binge watch it for like a week or two. And then afterwards, because I overexhausted myself with that channel. So then I end up not liking that person. That happened to Casey Neistat. Like I used to watch Casey Neistat vlogs every single day, and then it came a point where I was just like annoyed every time I would see him, because it's like, I don't know, like I said, I overexhausted myself. Yeah. So hopefully that doesn't happen to you.
Yeah.
And if it does, take a break for a little bit.
It's always nice to like binge something that you really enjoy and then just relax, and then the next time you come to it you could binge again. And it's like that comfort food. Yeah.
Of course.
Just like everything else in life, you just got to wade through it and take it day by day. So much pain and suffering goes into these videos that you guys don't even know. You know what does suck? Because I've think I've always binge watched like certain YouTube channels. And what ends up happening is like I'll binge watch it for like a week or two. And then afterwards, because I overexhausted myself with that channel. So then I end up not liking that person. That thing happened to Casey Neistat. Like I used to watch Casey Neistat vlogs every single day, and then it came a point where I was just like annoyed every time I would see him, because it's like, I don't know, like I said, I overexhausted myself. So hopefully that doesn't happen to you.
Yeah. Next question.
This one is by Anthony S. Frakes. Why do you sacrifice so much of your time for people you don't even know? Trust me, I appreciate it more than you know, and I hope this channel continues on forever. I was just wondering, what's in it for you guys?
Oh, that's very similar to what the other person said.
Yeah. Like, to me, the thing that keeps me going is 40. I love 40K. Like, this is a game that I have been playing for a large portion of my life, and I've invested so much time playing the game, learning the rules, reading the lore, doing these videos. Like, so it's something that I look forward to every day. Like, the Warhammer community articles, I want to read them. I want to see what's new, how the miniatures have evolved in time, how the game has changed, how GW says one thing but then does another. It's something that, like, it just becomes a part of your lifestyle, like previous.
Yeah.
So it's fun. Like, I really do feel for the characters. It's kind of like how, I guess, Star Wars or any other fandom like that is. Like, you do it because you love the ingenuity, the universe, and the characters, and overall, it's more than what you would think it to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And after all, like, what's in it for us is, like, we have an addiction. We have an addiction to Warhammer 40K and the universe, and it happened, like, a long, long time ago, even before we started creating videos.
Right.
And I think I could not stop. I could not stop creating videos because that's how I enjoy the hobby. And also, like, I see the benefit of, like, knowing certain things. Like, it's awesome to know who Rylanor is. Like, if I just played the game and painted the minis and all that kind of stuff, I wouldn't know who these characters are.
Right. It's like, oh, cool, this is a chapter master. Nice. But
Yeah.
you didn't know that, oh, this is actually Calgar, who got 4 of his limbs chopped off or whatever.
Yeah. And also there's, like, a sense of competition. Funny enough, I get my, like, competitive, like, drive to create more videos on Instagram. I think, like, the people doing stuff on Instagram in terms of, like the Blanchitsu style, conversion, all that kind of stuff, that inspires me to continue to make videos. And just, it makes me want to build and paint and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And then to finish off his comment, he says, I used to watch a lot of lore channels, but yours is the only one that I watch every day, and also the only one that I support on Patreon. Keep it up, guys. You are more appreciated than you know. Semper Fi. But yeah, thanks, man. It's nice to read these comments amidst, like, the slew of everything else we get. So it's like these little gems do shine, and they don't get overlooked. So
Yeah, and I think we've been neglecting Patreon for a while. And sadly, I think that's going to continue just because of what GW is doing with the copyright stuff.
yeah,
Because, I mean, I don't think they're going to go after us. We're not, like, animators or anything.
for now.
For now, yeah.
Because the thing that kind of is, like, something over in the horizon that might be coming soon is they are doing that Warhammer Plus thing, and they're doing battle reports on there. They're doing lore on there. They're doing animation on there. So if animation is the first of these steps, what's going to
eventually.
happen? Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully it doesn't happen in the best way that we could stop that, because there is a lot of, like, content creators that are worried. It's just you guys going out there and, like, giving,
Right.
Expressing your frustration with putting so much stress on these content creators that you, like you said, they're with you, or we're with you every single day. Also follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, just because that's another platform too, where, like, you guys can get a different side of the hobby,
Right.
more miniature painting and not so much lore. Oh, we also have a TikTok.
Yeah.
I get naked on there
Sometimes.
Next question.
This one's by Martin's Praise. How do you guys play 1v1v1? A 3-way free-for-all? It's
Bad.
it's really bad. It's time-consuming. You don't really get a good feel for your army.
Yeah.
Oftentimes, what the game devolves into is 2 people teaming up on one, and whoever the one has decided to focus on will be weaker, so that'll mean that third person comes out on top.
And the thing that sucks is that we used to always play on a 4x6 board, and then you can't really have equal sides.
Yeah, it's usually like a triangle shape, and usually whoever's in the middle gets
Yeah, get screwed. So even if we've tried to like shorten it so that it is a triangle within a rectangle, like the same thing happens. Is somebody always gets ganged up on, or somebody doesn't do much and just holds back.
Right.
Where there is a really cool gaming scenario that we got off of Age of Sigmar, which is basically it's
essentially 1v1.
Yeah.
With a barter system for a mercenary.
Yep. So the first term, there is no bartering. You guys just fight like normal. There's basically an attacker, a defender, and a mercenary. And then the mercenary, he is going to get what is it? Command points?
Victory points.
Oh, victory points at the end of the round, according to how many objective markers you have in your control. You get 5 victory points. Mm-hmm. For those 5 victory points, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to, like you said, barter with the mercenary and say, hey, come on my side, I will give you this. And then somebody else, or your opponent says, no, I'll give you this. And then it's up to the
mercenary to pick.
Yeah.
But your opponent doesn't know how much you're offering.
Yeah.
And it's also based on the mercenary. He could also play oh, well, this guy only is offering me 1 victory point, but he has better board control.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll go with that. So there's a lot of strategy and tactics to it, besides just taking the pot of whoever offers you more.
You would think that the mercenary has a lot of control and stuff, and they do, but not as much as you think. I think sometimes because the mercenary has no possible way of earning victory points, and that's how you win the game at the end, and that's what he should be trying to do, win the game. Mm-hmm. He still needs to also be strategic, and he also needs to realize that next turn I might switch sides. So that means that if I have all my units, I basically formed a battle line with this guy, with a defender, and then next turn the defender's I'm gonna jump over to the attacker's side. Now the defender is right next to me. He could just assault me and screw me up. So yeah, it gets fun sometimes.
Yeah, that is definitely the best way to play 1v1v1s.
Yeah.
But in general, it's fun. If you have 3 people, or you're supposed to be playing 1v1, and then another group's supposed to be playing 1v1, and somebody drops out, then it's a way to include everybody.
Yeah.
So it is fun, time-consuming, but fun. Yep. Definitely give it a try if you have 3 people in your play group.
Yeah. And then this is going to be the last question.
We'll end it with this interesting one. By Fola. If you guys were characters in 40K, what god of chaos would you fall to? And why is it Bridget B? I mean Slaanesh. So the thing about choosing a Chaos God in 40K, you would think, oh, I'm going to pick one that suits their personality. But I don't think it really works like that. No. It depends on the circumstances that befall you. Yep. If you're in war and you're about to get cut down by somebody, obviously the first person that's going to come to mind is Khorne. Because obviously you're fighting, you're trying to become the best, that kind of thing. But at the same time, if you're trying to achieve a better state of swordsmanship, then that's perfection, and that'll lead to Slaanesh. So I don't really think that you can decide what Chaos God you'd pick. It's more of the circumstances and what Chaos God has their eye on you.
And a little bit of your personality. So based on your personality, who do you think would call upon you?
I want to say Zeech, but I don't think so.
Slaanesh, then? Would it be Bridget B?
I guess. When you think of what drives humanity as a whole, oftentimes you're trying to achieve pleasure, stay away from pain, and Slaanesh embodies that.
Yeah.
Or you're trying to become a better person, or just better yourself in general, and that's also striving towards perfection.
Kind of. It's also Khorne. You're trying to become the greatest warrior.
Or if you're trying to, like I said earlier, self-preservation and whatnot, that also is Nurgle.
Yeah.
So a lot of these, honestly, it's here's a wheel of fortune, just spin it.
Yeah. I think I'd just be Chaos Undivided. Get a little bit of everybody, and hopefully not turn into a Chaos spawn.
Yeah. Well, if that's for anybody, honestly. The more boons you get, eventually you could just become this amalgamation of tentacles and teeth.
That's true. And those were the questions for today. If you guys have more questions for us, please comment down below. I hope you guys enjoyed this different way of presenting the Greater WAAAGH. We're going to continue to experiment with them, and we'll talk to you guys tomorrow.
Yeah. As always, this has been the Sound Alchemist,
Gershwin.
and we are out.
Oh, if you could put my